Right. Wow. Hope everyone is well. Was let's see. Um, all right. Now I'm going to start the introduction. Today we will do the long one. Let's see. Oh, I'm going to see if this is it. I think it is. Okay. Now I'm going to share the screen. Okay. We'll go from there. I still haven't figured out how to get rid of that toolbar. Hopefully it'll work anyway. So welcome to Karen Rice's Raising Happy Kids Zoom show, episode 75, The One Rule in Action. During this 1-hour Zoom show, I focus on sharing tips and lessons on the one rule to raising happy kids. Each episode has at least one example of the one rule in action, demonstrating how it helps you raise a happy child. Then, when we have guests, we have Q&A and discussion. When I talk about raising happy kids or creating harmony with kids, I bring up the one rule. The one rule equals agreement. Agreement equals harmony. Using the one rule means you find agreement. That's the rule. You find a solution that everyone likes. You found agreement. You found harmony. Knowing and following the one rule is all you really need to create harmony between you and your kids. In any situation where there are differences that might lead to conflict between you and your kids, use the one rule. I learned this strategy from 3-year-old children. I was teaching them a complex conflict resolution strategy, actually intended for adults, and they taught me this. So don't think you're in for a rough time. It's simple, it's easy, it's powerful and effective. It works if you use it. The one rule: start strong. You have decided that you really want harmony with your child. That sounds so good, right? Everyone feeling good and getting along. You have decided that you do not want to make your child do what they do not want to do. And you do not want to do what you do not want to do. And you are going to make this work. You have decided that you want to use the one rule to make this happen. This is going to become your new habit. You remember that when you use the one rule, you are sharing the following messages with your kids. I want us all to be happy. We are each important. Together, we can solve our problems. I believe in you. I love you. To create this new habit, you are going to start with yourself and what you want. You decide that you are going to let how you feel about a situation determine whether you agree with it or not. If it feels good, then you can agree with it. If not, you cannot. Ask yourself, is this situation okay with me, just as it is? If yes, good. If no, what would have to change, be different, so that I could feel good about it? Maybe several versions of the situation would feel fine with you. Maybe only one. This exercise, this practice, helps you make a habit of following the one rule. No matter what age your kids are, this exercise helps ensure a strong start and makes following the one rule so much easier. Here is something that might make following the one rule even easier. Recently, I asked myself a question. What do I want people to feel when they are connecting with my work? I definitely want them to feel good about themselves. Then the following answer appeared, to my surprise and delight. I want people to realize that they are already using the one rule. That understanding surprised me, and as more and more of it was revealed to me, it delighted me. Of course, people are already using one rule. I'm not teaching them anything they don't know. I'm not teaching them anything strange to them. I'm just helping them expand their use of something they use daily without thinking about it. They use it. You use it. Every time you come to a decision inside of yourself, you are using the one rule. Most likely you had to consider several options or possibilities to reach that decision, even if it just took you a few seconds for you to agree with yourself. That is what I want. You also use the one rule whenever you agree with someone else. Together you come to a decision, an agreement. Yes, tomorrow I'll go to the auto parts store after I get my nails done. Even with your kids, you are using the one rule. You're coming to agreements. Think about it. Of course you are. You're just not thinking of it as a rule, as something required. So at times you are not coming to agreement. I'm here to help you think of coming to agreement as required, as a rule, as the one rule. You just expand the situations where you come to agreement until coming to agreement is just what you do and your kids do. It is the rule you and your kids follow. When you use the one rule, you are creating harmony. Your kids are creating harmony. You're becoming used to creating harmony, familiar with how good it feels to everyone involved. One point to be clear on is that even if a situation seems complicated, and it seems that it is impossible to find a solution that everyone involved can feel good about, it is still possible. The important thing to remember is that there is a way for things to work so that everyone involved gets to feel good. Keep that in mind. This has been my experience whenever I have made this effort. When you actually start working with your kids using the one rule, helping them follow their interests is one of the easiest ways for you to start. You can understand that, right? It is also one of the most beneficial things you can do for your kids. Why is it good for your kids to do what interests them? One primary reason is that their interest is a key to helping them become the best versions of themselves that they can become. When we do what interests us, we are very engaged and focused. Think about doing something that interests you. When we are engaged and focused, what we do and produce tends to be of much better quality than if we were not interested. Interest helps result in excellence. An even more important result of being engaged and focused is that our whole being is involved in what interests us. That is why we are engaged and focused. We are experiencing harmony, inner harmony. That is a good reason to allow and encourage our kids to do what they are interested in doing. I have observed children doing what really interests them, and they become peaceful, harmonious people, even if they were not before. Now, it does not mean that everything that interests our kids is going to always interest them. They may be interested for 10 minutes, or 10 hours, or 10 days, or 10 years, or even a lifetime. The point is following their interests, not the specific thing or experience that interests them. So if they ask for your help, please help your kids follow their interests. If, for any reason, you really do not want to do what they're asking you to do, that is a perfect time to use the one rule. Another reason for helping your kids follow their interests is one that is taking care of you too. When they are eager to do something instead of resisting doing it, you do not have to encourage them to do it or insist that they do it, let alone force them to do it. Think of how much of your time and energy could be available for you to use as you wish. Helping them follow their interests is actually the one rule in action, taking care of you and your kids. I am glad you are here. Okay. Now, we are going to finish up the Guardian series, and that will have the one rule in action in there. And then we'll see what we have time for. Okay, here we go. Okay, as you can see, this was episode 7 of Raising Happy Kids show. The Guardians, harmony with adults. Let's just go on to this. Okay, we don't need this. We just did that. The story I am about to tell you is slightly a slightly different approach to finding harmony than I usually focus on. Today, the focus is on kids finding harmony with adults. We also look at a different aspect of the one rule. The one rule still helps them find harmony. See, that whole word is covered. I'm guessing that that's what it says. Kathy, my mom wants me to come to the next Parent-Teacher-Student Association meeting and tell them about the idea for the fundraiser. She thinks it is a great idea, but wants me to explain it to everyone. I'm feeling very nervous. I'm not used to talking with groups of adults, said Jenny. If you remember, Jenny was one of the founders of the Guardians. She actually came up with the name. You'll do great, Jen, said Pam. And Pam was the other founder. The girls had stopped by to talk with Kathy. She was their one rule coach, after all. And since she was an adult, they figured she'd have some helpful ideas so Jenny could feel confident sharing the fundraiser idea with all those adults. Jenny's mom said there'd be at least 15 people, including parents and teachers. I'm especially worried about talking to teachers. I've been pretty lucky and had friendly teachers, but they are not all like that. I hope there are only friendly teachers and parents at the meeting, said Jenny. They were all sitting on the porch, Kathy, Timmy, Jenny, and Pam. This was not a regular meeting day when all the guardians would be there. Pam and Jenny were just walking Timmy home. They hoped it would be a good time to talk with Kathy. It was. Well, I certainly understand what you're talking about, Jenny. I sometimes have to deal with very rude people in the restaurant. I always remember the one rule, said Kathy. The one rule, said Pam. Does the one rule have to do with talking with rude adults? They are not going to even try to be agreeable. You might be right about that, but there is something you don't know about the one rule and about rude adults. I've never explained how we learn to use the one rule with 2-year-olds. 2-year-olds, interrupted Pam. I don't get it. What do they have to do with grumpy adults? I'll explain, said Kathy, because they actually have a lot to do with each other. When we are using the one rule with 2-year-olds, we have to do most of the work. We have to try to agree with the 2-year-old, and if we can't, we have to help them choose something we like before the 2-year-old is determined to get or do something we don't want. Rude adults are kind of like 2-year-olds. We have to do most of the work, trying to agree with what they want. Just like 2-year-olds, they don't know how to even want to find agreement. We are the examples of the one rule in action to both of those groups, 2-year-olds and grumpy adults. I do get it, exclaimed Pam. They get to see how good it feels to have someone see their side of things and consider what they want is important. Oh, I get it. I get it too. I can just think of any grumpy adult as a 2-year-old who doesn't know better and be an example of a caring person to them, said Jenny. Yes, said Kathy. And the other thing is that probably when these adults were small, people did not treat them kindly. And that's why they developed the habit of being rude or whatever. Maybe using the one rule this way might help them feel better about life and other people. At least that's what's in my mind. When is your meeting, Jenny? I think it's next Thursday. At least that's what my mom thinks. She's going to find out for sure. Well, at our next Guardians meeting, let's act out talking with adults, said Kathy. I was thinking the same thing, said Pam, maybe? Yes, me too, Jenny. We'll do it, said Kathy. I'll explain to everyone what I explained to you, and then we'll do our practice. It feels like building a bridge between people. It feels expansive. It's what Ken did when he reached out to Jeff and invited him to be a guardian, said Pam. Yes, said Jenny, and that has worked out great. I feel better already, and I'm sure I'll feel great by the time of the meeting. I'm sure you will, Jenny, said Kathy. You're an awesome coach, Kathy, said Pam. Oh, we better go. Bye, Kathy. Bye, Timmy. A few days later, the guardians were all gathered at Kathy's and Timmy's. Jenny told them about her upcoming meeting with the PTSA. Everyone was very excited about this. Pam explained how they decided to talk with Kathy about creating harmony with adults, even rude, grumpy adults. Everyone agreed that that was a problem sometimes. Then Kathy explained what she had told Jenny and Pam and Timmy about using the one rule with 2-year-olds and rude adults. She also explained that they had decided that if everyone felt good about it, this day they would practice finding harmonious solutions when dealing with adults. She said she'd been thinking about this since they met a few days ago. She knows that we can all understand that adults who are not feeling happy and friendly are feeling bad inside of themselves. Some of these adults have been feeling bad for a long time. That's why they are rude or mean. Right, said Jeff. Everyone knew he spoke from experience. People who feel good inside, people who are happy, don't want to hurt other people in any way, said Kathy. So maybe we can be a bit of goodness in their lives if they come into our lives. It could make a good difference in their lives, maybe even a good, big difference. The one rule can help us do that. So let's do this. Yes, shouted all the guardians. Then they partnered up and went to create their demos. Okay, guardians, who goes first? Asked Pam. I want to go first, said Jenny, since this is all because of me. Jeff is my partner. Maybe your need started this, but we all need it, said Kathy, even me. Our problem is a grumpy father who doesn't like the idea of the one rule for a fundraising event. He thinks they should have a carnival. Here's what we came up with. No way, we always have a carnival. Everyone loves it. I love the carnival too, said Jenny. Everyone has fun there, going to try their luck at the different booths and eating all the delicious carnival food. But we can have a carnival. We have to have a carnival, but I think, oh dear, I think we can have both. You're a crazy little girl. Do you know how much work is involved in having the carnival? No way can we do both. I know it takes a lot of people, lots of work to do the carnival. This won't take very much work. We have the place. We can do it here at the school. There's almost no setup involved. Lots of the kids are interested, even some of the teachers and parents. It doesn't sound good to me. I understand that, but think of how much money we can raise with just a little work. Every student who participates is going to have their whole family come to see them, and friends and neighbors. All those people will buy tickets and goodies during intermission. We'll make a fortune. Kids love to act, to be on stage. They will only need one day to learn how to do this and to perform at night. We could even do a few of these, inviting kids and families from all over town. Kids from other schools already like the idea of the Guardians. Well, the Guardians is a good group of kids. I guess that is a good idea. You are right about making lots of money. Maybe we can use some of that for the carnival. Yes, that is a great idea. Then Jenny and Jeff took a bow and everyone clapped and hooted. Wow, said Kathy. Awesome use of the one rule for 2-year-olds. We'll have to think of a name for that version of the one rule. We want to go next, said Timmy, Elaine and I. Elaine is Jeff's younger sister and in the same class with Timmy. Here's our problem. Well, my problem. Talking with a mean, bossy teacher during lunch. Here's what we came up with. Elaine is the teacher. Timmy, get over here and sit down. You know you're not supposed to sit on that wall. Oh, Mrs. Jones, I'm sorry, I didn't know that. Don't you lie to me, young man. No one is supposed to sit on that wall. I don't lie, Mrs. Jones. I just never sat on the wall before and it looked like fun. I'm sorry to have bothered you by doing that. Fun? Jeremy fell off that wall and cracked his head open. He was my student, and can you imagine they blamed me for that? His mother, his father, his whole family. They've never stopped blaming me for that. So no one sits on that wall ever. I don't ever want to catch you on that wall again. Do you hear me? Yes, Mrs. Jones. I won't ever sit on that wall again. I'm glad you explained how dangerous it can be. Well, yes, I'm glad you understand. You can go and play now. I'm sorry I yelled at you. You go play. Tim and Elaine took their bow. Everyone clapped and hooted. Great demo, you two. She sure is mean. You were great with her, Timmy. I don't think I'll ever be afraid of her again, said Timmy. Me either, said Elaine. You both did a fantastic job, said Kathy. Come here, Timmy. She gave her son a big hug. I loved seeing how strong and wise you are. It's not easy to deal with such really rude and even mean people. I'm so glad that all of you are understanding how to use the one rule with grumpy adults. I'm glad you're not grumpy, Mom, said Timmy. Me too, said Kathy. Who next? I want to go next, said Ken. I have some good news, and because of that, I want to do something different. I want all of you who want to be my partners in this next demo. As you all know, I'm very involved in scouting. Well, I am invited to speak at a scouting conference. I've been thinking that I'd like to suggest a new badge, the one rule. Wow, Ken. So I want to practice my presentation. This is just going to be the first time. I'll probably want to practice it lots of times. After everyone was settled, I have been invited here to present an idea for a new badge. Even Cub Scouts could start earning this badge. It could go all the way to Eagle Scouts. I learned about it by joining a club called the Guardians. We help keep kids from being bullied and from becoming bullies. I want to propose that we have a Scout badge for the one rule. Then Ken bowed. That's as far as I can go today. Everyone clapped and shouted, "Great work, Ken. You go, Ken, our hero." Awesome, Ken, said Kathy. We'll definitely all work on this. You're going to give a stellar proposal. Awesome idea. Guardians, I am so proud of all of you. On with the show. Who's next? Okay, that's the end of that one. Now, I think we can go right into the next one. I didn't used to know how to do this, but I think it's going to work. Yes. Okay, and this was from Raising Happy Kids Zoom Show, episode 11, The Guardians. When creating harmony is up to you. Now, we have to get to a good start. Okay. In today's slideshow, we explore a situation where creating harmony is up to you because the other person is too young to be able to participate. This is similar to the last one. Jenny and Pam were walking Timmy home as usual. You're right, Jen, said Pam. I'll bet Kathy can help me with this. I've just been dreading it. I totally forgot what Kathy said about how we can use the one rule with 2-year-olds, but that it is different than what we do with older kids. Remember, you can use it with grumpy adults too, laughed Jenny. It works really well with grumpy adults, said Timmy. We have a neighbor who used to be grumpy. I've been using the one rule for 2-year-olds with him when I have to talk with him. Now he isn't mean. Sometimes he doesn't say anything, but at least he isn't mean. See, Pam, said Jenny, I'm sure Kathy can help you. Yeah, I'm sure she can, but Dean is a real terrible too. No one can stand to be around him, and I got volunteered to take care of him while my cousin is visiting. You got volunteered? Don't you use the one rule at home? Asked Jenny. We usually do, but this was a kind of family emergency. They couldn't reach me to ask me about it. Mom said that with all my experience with the Guardians, she was sure I'd agree and do a good job. Would you agree? Asked Jenny. I guess. My cousin really needs the help, and I'm the best one to do it. I was letting this get to me. I'm glad you reminded me about talking with Kathy. Maybe that's why this is happening. So I can learn about taking care of 2-year-olds using the one rule. I just hope it works. Then I could get really good paying jobs babysitting 2-year-olds when I'm a little older. If it works, it could be my specialty. Now that's the way to think, Pam, said Jenny. This could turn out great. My mom should be home if you want to talk with her, said Timmy. I may as well, said Pam. The sooner I feel good about this, or at least better, the more I'll like it. As they got to Timmy's house, "Mom, Mom," shouted Timmy, "Pam needs to talk with you." Kathy came out on the porch. "Hi, girls. Come give me a hug, Timmy, and tell me what's happening." Timmy ran up the stairs to hug his mom. "Pam has to babysit a terrible two, and she really needs some help." "What's this all about, Pam?" asked Kathy. Kathy had become the coach of the guardians right from the beginning, when Pam and Jenny first walked Timmy home. She taught them the one rule and did weekly sessions with them where they practiced using the one rule. "Do you have some time to coach me, Kathy?" asked Pam. "Yes," said Kathy. "Let's have a snack first. I was just fixing something for Timmy and me. Are you girls hungry?" "Yes," the girls exclaimed. As they ate, Pam explained what had happened in her family and that Jen had suggested that Kathy could help her. "I'm sure we can figure out a good plan for you, Pam," said Kathy. "I'll tell you what I've learned about interacting with 2-year-olds. "Yeah, that's what I was remembering you said about working with grumpy adults," said Jenny. "That's right, and that sure works," said Timmy. Timmy had become so confident during his time with the Guardians. "Okay, let's get started," said Kathy. "I'm going to tell you what you have to do differently with 2-year-olds or grumpy adults when it comes to the one rule. I'm also going to tell you why the terrible twos developed and how to avoid them. Sound good?" "Sure, anything that helps," said Pam. Soon after a child is through the terrible twos, you won't have to do this. But for 2-year-olds, and really anyone younger, like toddlers and babies, you have to be the one to find harmony, agreement. I don't know what it says. They cannot participate, probably agreement. They cannot participate any more than they already are. They are already in harmony with their developmental blueprint, and that takes all of their attention. "What is that, their developmental blueprint?" asked Pam. "It's what's built into all of us so that we figure out how to move our bodies, like walking. We learn the language where we're born. We learn so much to help us in our lives, and we all learn these things at about the same time and in the same order. That's how we know about the developmental blueprint." I'll tell you briefly what we know about 2-year-olds and their development and why it seems that they are difficult or even terrible. 2-year-olds are developing their willpower. They are making themselves into people who know what they want, who know how to get what they want, and who are determined to keep going until they get what they want. What makes this so difficult for those around them is when they are determined to do and have things that other people do not want them to do or have. That sure sounds like Dean, said Pam. I'm not surprised, said Kathy, because of what you've said about him. To be able to work with him, you have to pay attention to him. As a person at this stage of development, he must practice wanting and being successful. He has no choice. Young children have to do what their developmental blueprint directs them to do. So in a way, he already is in harmony with his developmental blueprint, which guides his development. Harmony, then why is he such a brat? Asked Pam. He isn't necessarily in harmony with those around him, so it is up to them to get into harmony with him, said Kathy. Get in harmony with a brat? Asked Pam. He is only considered a brat because the adults around him do not understand what he is doing and do not know how to work with him. It can make all the difference if people work with him instead of against him, explained Kathy. So how do I work with him? Asked Pam. First, it helps if you find harmony inside of yourself, asked Kathy. How do I do that? Asked Pam. There are various ways. We have a whole training on this. Before he gets there, you could give yourself a timeout. A timeout? Why do I need a timeout? Asked Pam. Just to have some time to yourself, doing something you enjoy, like listening to music or reading or dancing, or writing a list of things you're glad about in your life, or even sitting quietly and just paying attention to your breath going in and out of your nostrils, or listening to an app on your phone like dripping water or central air. With the first two, the idea is to get you focusing on what you appreciate about your life. These help you feel the good feelings of harmony inside of you. With the last two, it is to stop your thoughts. This helps you get in touch with the source of harmony inside of you, explained Kathy. I think I'll start with writing a list of things I'm glad about, said Pam. It's good to do this every day to make it a practice, said Kathy. Maybe we can tell all the guardians about this, said Jenny. I want to do it. That's a great idea, Jen, said Pam. Yes, it is, Pam, said Kathy. You can help me with this, can't you, Mom? Asked Timmy. We can do this together, can't we, Mom? Sure we can, Timmy, said Kathy. So what do I do next? Asked Pam. It's very important to remember that your work is to put yourself in harmony with Dean, since he can't get into harmony with you. Realize that he is doing important developmental work and do your best to think yourself into harmony with him. Make sure you keep feeling good about what is going on between you. That is you being in harmony with him. Pay close enough attention to him while you are with him to notice when he first chooses to do something. He needs to keep practicing wanting something and doing his best to be successful. If you notice he is choosing something you do not want him to choose, when he has first made a choice, it is easier to get him to choose something else, something that you feel good about. Once he has become determined to do or have something, it is easier to go along with him and make sure that it goes smoothly, explained Kathy. What did you mean by think yourself into harmony with him? Asked Pam. Let's say you didn't realize that he had chosen to take the TV remote into another room. Since he is already doing it, he is being determined. So, to think yourself into harmony, you might think, I'm going to follow him, and when he is done, I'll make sure to put the remote back, but where he can't get it. So you think that, and you do that. Now, if you see that he is going to put it in the dog's water bowl, you have to interrupt him. Just do your best to make it an enjoyable experience for both of you instead of an unhappy one. So besides finding harmony inside yourself, paying close attention is one of the most important things. Doing your best to create harmony with the other person is another important part of this. I just had a thought, said Pam. What if we came over here, at least for the first time? Then I could see how to do things. Yes, Mom, said Timmy. Let's do that. I have toys he could play with. That should work out, said Kathy. Just let me know in advance so I can reschedule coaching calls if I have any at that time. I think that I will suggest this as our practice during the next Guardians meeting. It can help in all kinds of situations, even with parents, really with anyone who isn't familiar with the one rule. We all need to know these skills if we're going to introduce the one rule into our families and life. Great idea, Kathy, said Pam. Yes, said Jenny and Timmy. Okay. Let's see. I wanted to share. Oh, I think I can share this. Okay, we're gonna stop the share for now. I'm going to see if I can share. One of the last things I saw before I got on here was my new website. And I thought that I could, and it's already pulled up. So let's see if I can share this with you. Okay, go back to here. I'm going to try this. Okay. Oh dear. I really have to learn how to get rid of this toolbar. I hope it's possible. Okay, now some of you may have seen this. This is the new website. This is the home page. I'm at present putting together I'm putting together this $1 plus offer, but it's not complete yet. But I have part of it together. This is the members site. Now, anyway, it's taking form, but it's not completed. Let's see, let's go back. Now on here, I don't know if you've seen it, but okay, there's ways to contact me, but you can also go and there's a link so you can go and read my blog. You can go to YouTube and see lots of videos. There's obviously going to be, not after today or whenever I get it posted, this video will be up, but so there's 74 of these, but there's also lots of other ones focused on the tools, skills, and strategies that I had developed in the past. Then there's also a link that will take you to I call it a pod class, because the podcast basically is classes that this Tuesday show started out that way. And if you want, there's some endorsements that you can take a look at. Let's go back to the home page and I will share with you what I'm developing, because we are each important. Let's see. Oh, this is where you can sign up, get on the mailing list. You get my latest book and training, which is, for now anyway, which is the 1 Rule to Raising Happy Kids. I don't know if the offerings here are all going to stay the same. We'll see. People do like the idea of this, so at this point it's going to stay there. Okay, I'm working on, I've got Facebook groups created for Harmonious Fathers, Mom Start Strong, Harmonious You, and that I didn't realize when I was doing the last Guardian story that it would include how to find harmony inside yourself, but that's what this group is going to focus on. I don't know, group training, we'll see. And the Miracle Workers is going to be a certification program for people that would like to know how to do all of this. And Educator in Harmony is so that kids will spend time in harmony, not only in their family, but at school or whatever situation that is now. including after school programs and things like that, if they are working. And then the last is going to be an open. All of these are going to be either hidden, or they're going to be private groups, or whatever they call them. These are all Facebook groups, and they're started already. So soon I will be opening this up for people. Anyway, the affiliate program is going to be accessible by anyone who would like to share this in the world. And they're all going to be connected with weekly calls, plus all the trainings that come along with it. And I'm sure the weekly calls will turn into trainings, depending on what people are interested in. So that's what I'm working on at the moment, and I will soon make it available. On the contact page, there's many ways to find out more and explore. There's lots of links there. So all the social media places where you can find out about me. Okay. And the first two offers, one is to sign up and you get a copy of the latest book. The latest book, and it actually, originally I wanted to make it a training, but then it seemed, and which I did, I actually, if you become a member, there is a training on the old website, which I had wanted to make a central focus, but in order to share it on ClickBank, which is what I was thinking of doing, it couldn't be in that format. So I made it in, that's why I made it into a book. And then I went back over two of my other main books, and I extracted the things that I felt would help people use the one rule, and did any modifications for those. And then there are new trainings in that book because of this show and what I've learned from other people, like the Start Strong, that was not in there. So this is, if this is a very good opportunity, if you want harmony with your kids, this will do it. Okay, well, I'm going to stop the share now. Show is over. I wish you all well. Okay. I'm going to stop on Facebook and stop recording.